What's up, everybody? I'm David Hain. Welcome to episode number 316 of the A to D from Addict to Disciple podcast. If you enjoy this podcast, please like, subscribe, follow, share the link with your friends. If you'd like to get our curriculum, you can get the paperback or ebook of From Ashes to Destiny on Amazon. Today's episode number 316 of the A to D from Addict to Disciple podcast is entitled Offer, Help, and Hope. And I must say that my motivation for this episode came as a result of some comments I've gotten from people who are volunteering with the Roots Outreach in St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada. And I recently spent a few days with them going over sort of an outreach rescue plan that I've developed. And I'm still getting questions about, can you give us a little more to hold these conversations, to establish relationships? So here you go, guys. Hope you enjoy it, and I hope it's good for everybody. The questions are sort of, how do you talk about things with a friend in addiction? What do you do if you're in a recovery house and you see someone struggling in the recovery house with you? How do you connect with a newcomer who comes to rehab or a homeless shelter or an outpatient center, or someone who just joins your support group? Well, the simple answer is offer help and hope. I'm not trying to make it sound easy by saying here's the simple answer. There are other episodes that I have about talking to someone in addiction, holding that conversation with a friend, the stages of change, intervention, aftercare, all that sort of stuff. But what I am saying is offering help and hope. This is foundational. Don't judge, rebuke, condemn, or debate. Offer help and hope. Don't make it about your disappointment or how they hurt you. Offer help and hope. Don't make it about ultimatums or say this is the last straw. Offer help and hope. You got it? I guess what I'm saying is ask yourself, what is my motivation for having a conversation anyway? Do I want to save them from themselves? Do I want them to confess their sin and repent? Do I want them to understand just how much they've hurt me? Do I believe I have the only answer or all the answer? Or are you ready to pour into them, but only if they're ready to soak it up? Or are you looking to force everyone you meet in addiction to drink what you have to offer? Okay, so start with some self-evaluation of your motivation before you get into the conversation where you offer help and hope. At the same time, as you're evaluating where you're at, take some time evaluating where they are at. Why would they even want to talk with you or listen to you? Are they doing just what they think you expect them to do? Or are they doing enough to sort of fly under the radar and hopefully you don't bug them anymore? Or are they doing only what's required where you said, we need to have this conversation? Do you think they're actually chasing recovery? Do you see that same motivation in them the way that they chase your dealer? So there's lots of sort of prep work you can do, lots of background thought and analysis and evaluation. I'm not trying to scare you away from having those talks. As a matter of fact, I'll give you another plan to follow for the talk. It's the acronym NEED, NEED. And it's a way to outline what you're going to say ahead of time and to be your foundation for spontaneous or unplanned chat. So get this into your way of thinking and you'll find yourself using it in all kinds of situations. So the N stands for notice. Notice the situation. Pay attention to that situation and what concerns you. What do you see? What do you think the person involved that you're evaluating, what do you think their needs are or their concerns? How would they describe the situation? The first E is for empathy. If you're going to hold a conversation, ask kind, thoughtful questions so that you're seeking to understand their situation without being pushy. And you can be asking for clarity after you've described what you see in the situation for how they see the situation. And maybe you could ask, how can I help you? Are you looking for help? Or do you just need someone to listen? What would you like me to do? How would you like me to assist you in any way if I can? The second E is for express. If you see a need that maybe they don't see clearly, but it's something you can do in the moment, express that. Can I get you some water? Maybe something to eat. Or as you get deeper in the conversation, they might be sharing hurts and stressors and disappointments and sort of feeling stuck in certain circumstances. And you can say some things like, can I share what worked for me? You really, in this situation, you're hitting that help and hope at the same time. You offer to help the things you can, maybe like getting them something to drink, getting them some water, or buying them coffee. But from the hope standpoint, you're really sharing how you have grown to let your hope, not your hurts, shape your future. And so you want to find a kind way to just share how you found something that works for you to process your hurt and your concern. But in this time, you don't just want to be the answer man. You don't want to be getting their hopes up in you. So you want to be clear about what you can commit to do. And you want to seek confirmation that both of you agree and heard correctly, so that you're just sharing what you can in the moment, or maybe you're offering more, but you both want to be in agreement with that. So if you're committing to anything going forward, then you get to the D in need, and that is do follow through. Follow through on what you've offered to do, what you've committed to do, how you would do it. Who will you be for that person going forward? Be clear if you're offering one-time or long-time help. Especially if you're offering to buy them a meal, you may not be offering to give them a meal every day. It's in the moment. And be clear about what you have to give. We're not all rolling in money that we're just going to start buying food or clothes or everything for everyone for the rest of their lives. But you can be clear about what you're committing to do in the moment versus what you can do in the long term. But it's important to realize that we all have something to give. We all have a way of offering help. And Winston Churchill had a good quote on this. He said, "We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give." So I want to encourage you, what do you have to give? And maybe what you have to give is your time. Maybe what you have to give is your food, whatever it might be. We need to do the same thing with the hope aspect. And that is, we need to look at whether it's a one-time offer of hope or a long-time offer of hope. Because to offer hope means to provide a sense of optimism, a belief in a positive outcome, an encouragement on a way to get that positive outcome. Maybe coaching someone in perseverance and highlighting their inner strength. Possibly it's just being there to show kindness and support as they're going through things with their coach, or their counselor or their program that they're in. So we need to be specific about how we can be a supporter moving forward if we're going to be offering long-time hope. And I believe we can all be carriers of hope in the moment or long-term, depending on the relationship that we have with that person. And I like Desmond Tutu's quote where he said, "Hope is being able to see that there is light despite all of the darkness." Can we simply be that person who offers help and offers hope because we've found the light and we've learned how to see the light despite all of the darkness around? Thanks for listening to this episode of the A2D from Addict to Disciple podcast. If you'd like to message me, you can do so on the link in this podcast or by email at davidfroma2d@gmail.com. Or go to my website, www.froma2d.org, and click on the contact page. Keep listening to future podcast episodes, and as always, stay safe and stay resilient.